Good day, Michelle. I really, really appreciate you taking your beautiful, precious time to come here into the studio and really dedicate this moment to share, to really impact and improve, hopefully, those that are watching us and listening to us. So, Michelle, let's begin with you. I'm so honored to meet a person like you. As you remember very clearly, you did a show with Michael Vostok.
Vaguely
Vaguely.
remember. Not so clearly.
A while ago.
Yes.
And I will never forget that night. It was late at night. You guys were live, and I was watching your show. And it's not an easy journey that you're on, and it's not an easy story that you are going through, but you are embracing it like a hero. And watching you that night, my husband kept telling me, my goodness, it is such a heavy duty story. Let's go to sleep. Shut it off. And I said, no, I want to keep watching. I want to see what happens in the end. So fast forward, I'm glad that I did watch you. And I'm glad that we connected. Because as you know, I've had my own story that we will cover very shortly. That I deeply needed your services. And I deeply needed your guidance, support, and just simply have a conversation with a person like you that was there to pick up and call me at the time of need. And I truly want to say thank you for that. And when you reached out to me on one Friday night and you said, hey, let's do this together, I was truly excited to welcome you into our show and to really, hopefully, impact and share with those that really need to hear our conversation in their moment of their life. So let's begin, Michelle. Let's talk about who you are, what you do, and what makes Michelle so special.
A lot of questions. All in one. How do I sum this up? So I am a licensed mental health counselor in the state of New York. We are expanding into 5 different states, but that's much later. And my private practice is Michelle Silver Lining Mental Health Counseling. I am a very proud owner of this practice. It took me many years to get here and a lot of work. And I was broke for a very long time. And my mom used to call me professional student. And in the end, it all paid off. And I knew from the very beginning why I wanted to come into the field. It was clearly to fix my mental health issues. Did it help? Yet to be determined. But no, it was to provide even a morsel of guide, aid, some sort of mentorship, and really the chance for a person in need to tell me all of their deepest, darkest fears and everything that they've been bottling up. And I wanted them to share that with me and for me to just help. And, this was, I was very inquisitive from a young age. So people fascinated me. Why do they do what they do? What are these behaviors? I came from first generation immigrant household. And I was in between the traditional, roles of our community, but yet the American side was dealing with that type of culture. So I was inquisitive, I was lost, but I knew that I wanted to get some sort of grasp and have my meaning and purpose fulfilled straight to the top. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm literally trying to get straight to the top. So
Share your story a little bit.
okay. All right, Olga. So
A little bit.
for those of you who don't know, those of you who are, who know me and are still trying to figure out what happened, and those of you who haven't been aware of my situation, I have a lot of questions coming around, and I'm happy that I have this opportunity to not repeat myself 500 times. So basically what happened was I went on a trip to Cancun on a vacation, and I went to go sit on the ledge in the balcony. It wasn't so high. It was about like this, and it seemed inviting. Now you're going to ask, what kind of moron is going to go sit on this ledge? Someone who is normally impulsive like myself. So being impulsive in one end is horrible because you say things you don't mean, you do certain behaviors you don't, and it could really destroy you. And then you could take impulsivity and apply that to success, business. Am I making this move? Am I putting my money in this? Am I going to invest my time in this? And not procrastinate. And we spoke about how buyers procrastinate. And procrastination is actually
Killer.
one of the
It's a
there's going to be
killer.
a diagnosis because 16% of the population suffers from it. So it's really a big deal. And going back to the impulsivity part is that's what you need to pull the trigger.
Correct.
You can sit there and lament and, not be impulsive, so to speak. But sometimes that's what you need to get to where you want to go. Sometimes. Not in that situation that I was in. So back to my Mexicoma. It seemed inviting, and I overestimated the amount of space that I had. So basically, I went back, flopping on my thoracic section, which is everything waist down. And from there on, the minute I fell, I said, I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs. I wasn't quite sure what was happening. I was certainly looking for answers. But my number one question was, am I ever going to walk again? Am I ever going to move? This is like maybe just like shock, like my body trying to protect itself from pain or whatever it is. But since the beginning of, my treatment medically and emotionally, even in the hospital, the Mexican doctor told me, no, the minute he sees me, it's like paraplegic. I'm like, para who? And he explains to me, that's it, you're done. And I'm like, no. Slow down. Let's take some x-rays. And the minute he does that, I see him in the room looking, in the screen. I see him in the window, and he goes like this. Right then, I knew this is a problem. This is not, I can't minimize this. This is bigger than a fall.
Mm.
And although I could have been in denial and I could have said, you're not from the States. What do you know about health and all of this stuff and medicine? But moving forward, I believed him because he's a medical professional, and you know, we want to be able to trust the people who are taking care of us. But sometimes you shouldn't do that. And actually, you should do the complete opposite. And I know that sounds strange, but there's a reason for this. If I went by everything the doctors told me, I would not be here, sitting here, so grateful to having this opportunity, because I fought and I went against all odds. So after I fell, they had to airlift me. No one within 24 hours, or else my back would collapse. How are we gonna get someone to airlift me? It's such a short amount of time. You're not having the surgery in Mexico. My family, thank God, pulled it together, and Hatzalah came for free for the simple fact that I'm Jewish. And I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. That showed a lot. And of course, I gave donations. So then they had
God
me.
has a plan.
Yet to be determined.
God has a big plan for you and Michelle. And I want you to know that you motivate and inspire a lot of people. And at time of need, when you're there to help and support those that need help, it is very significant. And what you do and the services that you provide is extremely significant. I personally know someone in my family, I'm not going to mention names, that did a therapy with you. And that person had nothing but the most wonderful things to say about you. How much you understood, how much you felt, and how much you impacted that person's future. And maybe this is why you're here, to continue that legacy, and to hopefully your daughter could be very, very proud of a mom, that her mom didn't give up. Her mom continues to fight. Her mom continues to contribute to the world, even though you're not able to do the regular day-to-day operations on your own.
Not yet.
Not yet. But I believe in the power of mind.
You too?
And the power of mind is more powerful than anything else on this planet Earth.
Yeah.
So I'm very sure that your daughter drives you.
And I wanted to just quickly get into that really soon. Shout out to Michaela. We give birth to children, and it is our job to make sure that they are safe, to make sure that they are, emotionally nurtured and cared for, and we have to form an attachment, a bond early on with our child, because if you don't, it's going to create attachment issues. And we must also empower our children and, kind of do, I don't want to say the opposite of what our, certain things I cannot say, but of how old school ways. So instead of pushing the emotions and saying, что ты делаешь? When my mom hears me crying, she goes, you sound like a big baby. Ты меня позоришь. Like, really? Mom, I love you. So, and I just want to, segue into my mom real quick, and then my daughter. My mom, is a single parent, was a single parent for a very long time, and she's built an empire although it was taken away at some point and shattered. She was left with a lot of things on her head, and it was sudden. It was done really sudden, and she persevered, and she worked hard, and she didn't sit for a second. And, that's the drive, and that's where I watch, that's where I get my inspiration from. I've watched that, and there's no time, to cry, and there's no time for this and that. But there has to be a balance. I have
Emotions need to be.
Yeah, there has to be. It needs to be come out, and if people can leave me alone for a minute, totally alone. There's always someone around and saying, "Don't cry, put your multipliers," and I'm like, you know what? I just let me rock crying for a minute. I just want to. Can I please? And then my mom comes, my daughter comes. So going into my daughter, I believe that I will and have shown her a great example of what a strong, independent woman is. I'm not into the feminism and all that. I'm not trying to think roles should be traditional, how they were. However, it is always also important that we as women can stand on our 2 feet for many reasons. I'm not going to go into that. It's very obvious why. And she sees me. I can't give up. She's watching.
Yes. Definitely.
Social modeling is incredible to the point where now she comes up to me, and not frequent do I cry, but it happens here and there. There's a lot of frustrations with this disorder, and it's not always easy, and I have my days. And my daughter comes up to me and she goes, "Mommy," and she grabs my face, "Mommy," and she wipes my tears. And she's like, "Mommy, it's just going to take time.
Wow.
You're being impatient.
Oh, wow.
Mommy, breathe. Mommy, breathe."
Wow.
And so she's everything from the way that she talks to the way that she moves to everything. I'm noticing and picking up like, that's from me. That's from me. That's for me. Let me stop that right now. So it's important to know that your kids are watching.
Absolutely.
And at some point, I used to nurture her. And some people question my motherhood in this position. But it seems like I did a good job because she's nurturing me now.
Beautiful. Wow.
And I just want to create a kind, smart soul.
Beautiful. And you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
You're doing absolutely amazing
Thank
job.
you.
And to see your daughter, always on social media, and she is a beautiful,
Thank you.
just like as beautiful as her mom.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And she's going to become a very strong individual. Just keep watching her. Don't let her go on vacations alone.
No balconies.
No balconies. And but I definitely want to say thank you for this beautiful, open information that you're sharing with our audience about the true, authentic Michelle that you are.
Thank you.
And I do want people to know that you have your own company. Again, repeat what's the name?
Yeah, that part. We're here for that too, right?
Correct.
My company name is Michelle Silver Lining Mental Health Counseling. As cheesy as that sounds, the silver linings, they're everywhere.
Beautiful.
They're everywhere.
Is it easy to get to you?
It's through telehealth. It is online. It is very easy, a very easy process, a very seamless process, and perhaps not as frustrating as it is with other clinics or agencies or group practices. So we accept all insurances.
Excellent.
And, I have them verified within 3 days, 3 to 4. Don't kill me if it's 5. But, and then we assign them to a clinician who is aware, who has specifically dealt with the presenting problem, whether it be a child psychologist.
So you do good matching.
I hope so. So the clinic has been doing really well. And so, yeah. So Michelle Silver Lining Mental Health Counseling. And we are expanding, into 5 different states and branding and things of that sort. And I really hope that it is a mogul, not for my, fame or whatever. It's I want to hit as many people as possible. When I was a therapist, it would be one at a time. And then I said, I'm way too good for this one at a time. I'm here for a reason, and I'm going to fulfill this reason. You and I got you.
Yeah.
And you got me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to talk about being the sacrificial lamb that I have been always. I sacrificed myself to listen to people within 4 walls who are complaining or pouring their heart, to sit in pain with them. I sacrificed a lot of sanity. But I knew that somebody had to be the sacrificial lamb.
Correct.
So right now, I'm here as a sacrificial lamb
to help,
to endure the pain, to embrace it, and to accept it, because it's going to be for a reason. And I hope that all of this is for a reason.
Beautiful.
I just want to mention before I forget, the website is www.michellesilverlining.com, and you can contact me through there and set up a consult or whatever it is. We even set up like 15 minutes of a free consult, and right off the bat, because we want to make sure that it's a good fit.
Michelle, I want to thank you very, very much for this very, very pure, authentic episode where you poured your heart out and we really share with our audience the true Michelle.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining.